welcome back to the start of a very exciting weekend reading vlog. This weekend I will be reading, which is exciting in itself, but I also get to leave the house. So our lockdown has eased a little bit, and I will preface by saying that I am still going to be incredibly cautious when it comes to going out in public, because I'm still worried about being caught in a hotspot, and I don't want that. So we are only doing the essentials trip today for me, which is basically just restocking on all of my hobbies so that I can remain at home. And I also am going to look for some very specific books, because being in Australia, books take forever to get here, and so I will be on the hunt for a few very certain books. One of them is the Atlas 6, and the other one is the Love Hypothesis. There might be a few more, and I might pick up some others on the way if I feel like it or if I find them, but those are the ones that I am looking for. Once things are more back to normal with the world, what I will be doing is a secondhand bookshop vlog, where basically I just go and trawl all of the secondhand bookshops that I can find in the area for several books that I am looking for that are not new releases. But today is purely basically about new releases and hard to find. So we're not leaving my suburb still, staying within the suburb. I'm allowed to leave my suburb now, which is exciting, but I am not going to be. Again, aforementioned fear of leaving house. I will do that to start with, and then when we come back, I will let you know about the books that I will be reading this weekend. Wish me luck. So we still don't have a full-length mirror yet, but this is my outfit of the day. H&M turtleneck on. Same with the belt, I think it's from Cotton On. And then these pants from H&M, it's pretty cool. I've got my mask. Got it off Etsy. Wear a mask, get vaccinated, be safe kids. Let's go. Okay, we're back home. That was stressful. It just felt really weird. It felt like I shouldn't be there. Like it really felt like I needed to be like in and out, like I couldn't browse. And some of them were still that. Some of them were like just kind of get in, get out. You don't need to kind of walk around and look at things. But I think I spent the most time in the bookshop, and that was probably the most comfortable one of all of the shops that I went to. They were really, really lovely there. It was comfortable, it was familiar. I bought some books. Let me tell you about them, because that was actually quite fun. I didn't find the Love Hypothesis or the Atlas 6, which are the two that I went in for initially, but I did get 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim and These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a BookTok favourite, so I figured I would see what the hype's about. Everyone seems to love it. Chloe Gong seems pretty cool, and 6 Crimson Cranes is a BookTube favourite, so I figured I would pick it up. And also, look how beautiful this is. Like, it's got the gold foiling and it's all pastel. It's flipped, but we're working on it. Yeah, so those are the 2 books that I picked up instead of what I went in for, which I'm like a little bit upset, because I did actually really want the books that I went looking for. But for this weekend, because I haven't told you yet about the books that I'll be reading this weekend, so I am listening to Daisy Jones and the Six at the moment. I did actually start this last night just in preparation for this vlog, and I didn't intend to accidentally get halfway through it already. So I'm more than halfway through Daisy Jones and the Six on audiobook. I'm also reading Shadow Study by Maria V. Snyder. It is the 4th book in the Poison Study series. It is set after the events of the Glass trilogy, which is something that I forgot, and I was intending to maybe not read it until I've read the Glass series, but I think I will continue on with the Study series, because I vaguely remember what happened in the Glass series, and I don't particularly want to reread that right now. I do really enjoy it. Like, I think I probably honestly like it a bit more than I like the Study series, but I think I want to stay in the Valak Yelena land a bit more. And when I first read Shadow Study, I rated it quite highly, so I'm hoping that I will like it as much this time. However, I already have thoughts. So my Shadow Study thoughts so far, I'm only like 30 pages in, but immediately I've noticed that the writing is average. I'm not sure if that's just because I've recently read books that are quite well written, but I'm struggling a little bit with the writing. It's very easy to read. Like, I never think that a book not being written like poignantly or like eloquently is like a deal breaker for me. I still really enjoy reading, especially if the story and the characters are good. But yeah, that's just something that I've noticed straight off the bat. There's a lot of callbacks to the Glass series, so if you haven't read the series before and you are up to Shadow Study, you should read the Glass trilogy before you jump into the second half of the Study series, because it won't make sense. Like, there's so many references to things already, and I'm only 30 pages in. But my thoughts on Daisy Jones and the Six, I am kind of really enjoying it. Taylor Jenkins Reid has like this really weird way of drawing someone into a story, like drawing me into a story that I did not think that I would enjoy whatsoever. I didn't think that I would enjoy Malibu Rising. I didn't think that I would enjoy Daisy Jones and the Six. I don't even know what The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is about, but I just know that I'm going to like it. And that's weird, because like a surfing family, I would not be interested in that. A band, like the politics of a band, I would not be interested in that, but I am. Why? I don't know. There was a really, really lovely quote that I read last night that I wrote down. Again, really depressing quotes. I love them, especially when they come from Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yeah, I am thoroughly enjoying it. I think the format, because I'm listening to it on audiobook and there is a full cast, it is good, because I can kind of differentiate who's talking at different times. And I don't actually know what it looks like in the book, like how the format is and how they differentiate between the different voices and who's talking. But I'm like finally like halfway through it, I'm getting to know all of the characters, understanding who's who and who's what, because 7 band members is a lot. Like, there's Daisy Jones and six others, and there's a lot of people to keep track of. But yeah, so I'm now going to decompress from my stressful morning. I'm going to read probably a bit of Shadow Study. I might swap it over to Daisy Jones, and then yeah, I'll touch base with you guys when I've read a bit more. I have a reading check-in. I realised before that I never actually even told you what these books are about. So without further ado, let me jump into some synopses now that I'm like 3/4 of the way through at least one of them. Shadow Study by Maria V. Snyder. I have raved, and like I've spoken so much about this series that my spiel is the same every single time. Main character, Yelena. She's a poison taster, she's got some powers. There's heartbreak, there's politics, there is love, there is magic. It's a huge, huge world. Average. That was the best catch of my life. Okay, let me continue. Series is like averagely written, but it's pretty easy to read. So, Shadow Study is the first of the second trilogy within the series. So the first 3 are set pretty close together. Then there's another series that goes in between, and then the last trilogy is set like I think 8 years after the first one. So there's a bit of a time gap. Basically in this one, Yelena has been poisoned and her magic is gone. And so we're now following like why her magic is gone, basically. So that's where we're at with Shadow Study. Again, I'm still only like 30 pages in, so we'll get there. But Daisy Jones and the Six, which is like I think that that's like my favorite one of the weekend so far, considering I have listened to most of it in like 12 hours. Daisy Jones and the Six follows a band named the Six and Daisy Jones, who is this whirlwind firecracker, very naturally talented singer who joins this record label that is also on the same record label as the Six. And the Six are a band of 6 people who all have kind of like the same idea, but they have some differences, as most bands do, I think. And the story follows them as they come into their own. They meet Daisy, and then Daisy eventually joins them to do an album. The way that this book is written is that it is like an interview style by all the band members and whoever is involved. And we learn about what happened in a narrative way from all the different perspectives. So a thing that I'm really enjoying, particularly about this format, is that the narrators that are telling us about this, because obviously we're getting the direct information from the characters, they all contradict each other. And so like it'll be like one person will say, oh, this is what happened, and then immediately the next person will say, no, it happened this way. And it's just really cool to see like how their history is being written by each other, and like they're all their own perspectives on what happened. I can feel that we are building up to some big thing that's going to happen. I don't exactly know what that is, but it seems like it will be big. There's a few characters in here that I really, really like. Camilla is one of them, surprisingly. Interestingly enough, like hers and Billy's relationship, I like it for some reason, and I don't know what it is, but I'm enjoying their relationship to an extent. Daisy, obviously, she's our main girl, she's our firecracker. She is kind of that troubled, misguided teenager almost. She still kind of presents as a teenager, even though I'm pretty sure she's an adult. And then you've got like the rest of the band members, and there's like a couple that are sleeping together, there's a couple that are like really mad at the main guy, and there's just politics and drama and just so much good stuff. So I've only got 2.5 hours left of Daisy Jones and the Six. I'm going to stop myself from reading it now, because otherwise I will finish it straight away, and I'm going to go do something else. Yes. I know I said I was going to go and do something else, but I didn't. And I finished Daisy Jones and the Six instead. And it's 2 o'clock. And I can safely say that that's about all I've achieved today. But I'm okay with that. That was a wild ride. I'm glad I listened to it. I'm really, really, really glad I listened to it, because having a full cast for that was amazing. I'm still too early to have thoughts, but I just wanted to let you know that it's done. And it's very hot now, and I'm gonna go get changed out of a long sleeve shirt because it's hot. An important update. I've just Googled it, and Daisy Jones is in fact, I thought it was going to be a movie, but it's going to be a TV show. Ha! I'm loving that Reese Witherspoon keeps just producing shows of books that she's read in her book club. It's great. So yeah, we have a Reese Witherspoon produced Daisy Jones and the Six TV series coming out in 2022, and Sam Claflin is going to be Billy Dunn. I'm so excited. This is going to be amazing. So yeah, because that's one thing that when I was vacuuming and listening to music, I was like, I kind of wish that I could have heard some of the music that they were talking about. And now I will get to. So yeah, just quick little update to let you all know that I've just found out that tidbit of information. Happy Saturday, everyone. I did start listening to Tokyo Ever After last night. I'm literally not even through the first chapter yet, so I have no thoughts. I have no idea what's happening. But I also read a bit more of Shadow Study. Maybe one more chapter, if that. But again, if I'm going to be honest, I just played a lot of Spiritfarer. I'm nearly done. I'm 80-something% of the way through the game. I'm hoping that I can actually finish that this weekend. It's been so long since I've actually finished a game, so yes, hopefully we can do that. Yeah, that's where we're at. Where are you guys at the moment? I feel like I'd never throw it to the floor. How do you feel your weekends? How do you do things inside the house? I think the whole world has had a bit of a crash course on how to entertain yourself within your own house. So how do you guys do it? Because I have many ways and I'm getting bored of all of them. And going outside, as we learned yesterday, is stressful and will take a long time to build back up to what it was before. That is all. I just wanted to say good morning. I have my coffee. I have my crocheting. I'm gonna watch some YouTube. Cheers. I'm gonna cut out the Jim Beams.
What?
This is a family-friendly channel, Jarrett.
Have you met Jim? He has a family too. The other one.
What is your idea?
You should play Stardew Valley.
Yes.
On the internet. For money. No.
Amazing. Great idea. Are we winning?
It's a draw at the moment. Tie, I guess?
Off the trot.
Alright, so we have to go grocery shopping. So I'm ready to go. Oh my god, there's nowhere nice in here to film. Yes, we have to go, well, I have to go grocery shopping, so I'm like masked up. I'm ready. Samson's excited in the back for me to be leaving. Yeah, grocery shopping. Let's go. Okay, so there's people everywhere and I'm a little bit terrified, but we are going grocery shopping in the middle of the day on a Saturday, which in hindsight was not the best idea, but it also means that I can maybe try to go to one of the other stores to see if they have the books I want. Potentially, but I will do it very safely, very quickly, because I do not want to be here for longer than I need to be. So let's go. Okay, so I'm back from the shops. That was vastly better than it was yesterday. I was there for about maybe like an hour and there was way more people, but I didn't feel as anxious, which was really nice. But I did actually manage to pick up a few books. They were not the ones that I was looking for, unfortunately, but they were also on my list. So I will show you them. The first one I picked up is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. We're flipped, sorry. I actually have this on hold at the library, but it's not available until January and I am on a Taylor Jenkins Reid kick, so I figured I would pick it up. It was cheap, it was there, and so we now own The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. They also had every other book that Taylor Jenkins Reid has written, so I didn't get those, but we have this one. The next is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I've heard very mixed reviews about this. This is a kind of like a rom-com kind of book that follows the maid of honor and the best man from a wedding. They're the only two that don't eat the buffet and they end up being the only two that don't get food poisoning. And so they have to take the honeymoon because everyone else and the bride and groom are sick. So I've heard, again, like super mixed reviews about this. Some people love it, some people hate it. But I figured I would give it a go. It was there. It was cheap. That's why I picked it up. And lastly, I'm very excited for this one. It's The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I have heard from someone that I trust for books that this is fantastic. This is a hate to love rom-com type book as well, and I haven't been able to find it in the library apps that I have, and I didn't want to buy it online because it was really expensive, but this was the last copy at Big W, so I had to get it. I had to get it. It was there, it was waiting for me. So yeah, this weekend we've bought 5 books, but that's fine. That's what we're here for. We love to see it. But I have also listened to a little bit more of Tokyo Ever After. I'm starting to understand what it's about now, which is good. We've been introduced to the main character and her mother and her friends, and she has just realized that her father is a prince, which is not a spoiler. It's in literally the first chapter of the book. So yeah, should be interesting. But yeah, that's about it for my little like reading check-in for now. I will see you guys this afternoon when I have read some more. Ta-ta. So I'm updating my bullet journal, and like me at the start of the year was like, I won't read more than 65 books in a year. Like I'm gonna have so much room on this one page that I've allocated to list all the books that I've read this year. Yeah, no, we run out of room. And so I've had to make this little extra card to match so that I can still continue to list all the books I've read this year because I ran out of room. Who even am I? Sunday, everyone. Today is the last day of the vlog, and it is cage cleaning day. We found out last night that Samson has found his forever home, which is very exciting, but he still has probably another week or two left with us. So definitely cage cleaning day today, because I gave him a new toy and he has made a gigantic mess out of it already, and he is just itching to come out. I'm a bit sad that he is going. We're gonna miss Samsy boy. Come here, my dude. Come here. You got it, yeah, on the hand. Good boy. You're getting so much better at stepping up. There you go. I'm gonna miss you. I'm not gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss you. Yeah. You are so loud. Alright, let's clean your cage, my dude, because it is filthy. There's a new one, but don't poop on the lounge. Just a small update as well. I read to maybe like a third of the way through Shadow Study last night. I'm back into being invested in the world and the characters, so that is good. I will probably be reading so much more of that today. However, due to it being cage cleaning day and also just house cleaning day and preparing for the weekday, I will be listening to a lot of my audiobook instead, because I have a lot of cleaning to do. So we'll be listening to Tokyo Ever After, which I am pretty excited to get into. It's pretty interesting so far, so I will let you know more of my thoughts about it when I have thoughts about it. Okay, it's gonna be super echoey. But we have just repotted our dearest Roberto. He is a rubber plant. He was the first plant that we ever got, and he had a really hard time in the unit when we lived in the unit, and so he lost all of these bottom leaves pretty quickly. But then he was outside and he grew really well outside for a bit, but then we moved and he stopped getting like constant water. And so now we've repotted him. We're gonna put him inside and see if he gets any better, because he's got some super curly leaves that are filled with spiders, and he's got a fair bit of sun damage, so we'll see if he gets bigger. He's in a bigger pot now, so hopefully his leaves and roots will be happier. But yeah, we'll see how he goes. I'll come back in a couple of days and see how his leaves are going. Hello and welcome to the end of the vlog. Yeah, quick wrap up. I read Daisy Jones and the Six. I started and finished that this weekend. And I also read about half of Shadow Study by Maria V. Snyder, and I listened to a third of Tokyo Ever After. I am enjoying Tokyo Ever After. However, my current thoughts as they stand are that I would have loved this way more if I was younger. I think that I have potentially outgrown the genre that this book falls into, but basically it's like Japan meets Princess Diaries. Our main character discovers that she is in fact a princess, her father is royalty, and she's thrown into this very Princess Diaries scenario. Which, don't get me wrong, I love, and I will finish the book, and I'm thoroughly invested at this point in time. However, I'm not enjoying it as much as I would have hoped to have enjoyed it, and I'm not enjoying it as much as I know I would have enjoyed it had I been younger when I was reading this. So that's my thoughts on Tokyo Ever After. Shadow Study, I think that I'm enjoying this one a fair bit, probably less than the first three, but that's just because I am not used to being back in this world just yet. I'm getting there though, which is nice. I'm loving that we get to see a lot more different perspectives in this book as well. I think previously it was just Yelena, and now we get a few different perspectives, which was really cool, and I like that element of the books. Obviously, I don't want to say too much about it because it is spoilery, but just know that I am enjoying myself and I will be finishing this rather soon. And then, yes, lastly, I read Daisy Jones and the Six. I listened to it entirely almost in one day. I think I liked Malibu Rising more than I liked Daisy Jones and the Six. I couldn't tell you why at this point, but I think it has something to do with like family versus found family versus choosing your family, which is an interesting concept. But I did enjoy listening to Daisy Jones and the Six. I'm so very excited for it to become a TV series. Sam Claflin is Billy, and I'm so ready. It might make me like Billy a bit more. Yeah, I very, very much enjoyed Daisy Jones and the Six. It was very addictive, very easy to consume, and I'm very excited to jump into The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I also picked up in this vlog. So exciting. It's been a big book buying weekend. I'm actually going to be doing a book haul later because I have so many books that I've acquired in the recent past, and that hasn't happened in several years. So I think it's time for a book haul. Yeah, you might see that before this vlog, but I don't know. If you haven't seen it, it's coming. But I do want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have made it this far, thank you again. I think I say thank you like 20 times at the end of every video, but I definitely truly mean all of the thanks that I give you guys. Yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.